rolling? I think we're rolling. Oh, hey there, Twitch. Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location somewhere at rock bottom. He is the Reverend. What you know good. And we are back live, all alive, to get back to what we were working on just last night. Sorry for not giving a proper warning for those who follow me on social. I was honestly not sure when I was going to get back to this, but we are back. Better late than never. Better, period, than never. And I decided to sleep on it and think about what I was going to do for this illustration. For the most part, I'm mostly satisfied with what we got here, but there is a couple things I want to adjust. Oh, excuse me. So what we're going to do is, there are two big things I want to change. Well, not two things. Well, yeah, I guess it counts as two things because it's technically these dice. I was okay with the original idea that I had, but I want to adjust these dice and make them a little more memorable. So what we're going to do, before we really finish the actual coloring, we're going to go ahead and we're going to redo these. We're going to redo these dice. Give me just a second because I unfortunately forgot to have my references on deck. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Just want to make sure I have this right here ready and waiting. Yeah, so we're not even gonna tippy toe through this. We're just gonna go ahead and just get started. First things first, I'm gonna turn off the background and everything. And we are also going to, where did I put my? Yeah, the dice. These. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off these rulers because it's really hurting my head. But what we're going to need some. I got another thing of dice that I'm going to use that I think will fit a little bit better when it comes to the shape that I'm looking for. But we're going to have to adjust so much. Mainly the way this is rotated. If we could just get something like this, just to line it up with the actual table, and we should be good. I did a little bit of practice with working with these 3D models in Clip Studio, so I'm kind of got a grip on how I want these to go. I kind of want to hold on to the same type of pretty much the same position as I had for the earlier one, the previous version. I'm just hoping that these dice don't look too janky, but we'll see. Mainly, I just want the actual shape of it, because the more I was working with these dice, the more I really wanted to replicate the dice that were in Morrow's origin story. There was a particular type of dice he was using, and they were almost like, I told you that you could move. Hold on. Let me lock these so that I don't accidentally click those. Got so many layers that I'm using. Zoom it out a little bit. Bring it down. Zoom in a little bit. Something like this. missing. That ought to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy what I did for the original, for the lines, and I'm going to erase what I had for the original dice. A little bit of tweaking here for the lines, which means there's also going to be a lot of tweaking I'm going to have to do for the rest of it and the colors. But it's okay. This shouldn't take too long. If it ends up not looking too good, we can always just go back and do it again. Turn off the rulers since we don't really need them right now. We know exactly where we got the position that we wanted. Now I want to extract the lines. What in the world's going on here? Okay, that's... Oh, I see what happened. I accidentally locked that one. Extract the lines. Extract the line. There we go. Still not exact. The lines are not necessarily exactly as dark as I want them to be. They're still a little. Hold on, let me cut off some of this light here. Is already throwing me off. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try what I can to just have a sharp. I want these to be sharp. So there's gonna be a little bit of guesswork here. I'm just gonna overshoot and just let that kind of take care of anything. As long as these, yeah, that'll do. Some of this. We can always add that back. It's just a little bit of tweaking here and there. Some of this is going to look a little weird, but we'll make it work. But because I want to make sure these dice are somewhat similar to the ones in the origin story, there's going to be some patterns that I'm going to have to make. I'm basically giving myself more work than I originally expected, but that's the price you pay when you want things to look good. And I think we can make this look really good. Ah. A little too big. Also, the color's wrong. Make them darker. pen just a little, make the brush size a little smaller so I can do a little fine tuning. There we go. A little bit of rotate. Since we made it all the way to the coloring phase last time, I'm going to try to kind of blam through this as quickly as possible. But the design of the dice are still going to take me a while because these dice are going to be a little more detailed than one might expect. But at least we got this, the basic shape is already out of the way. Just a little bit of cleanup of the lines. And then we're going to reapply the color regarding the new set of dice. I wasn't even using the same pen either, but that's okay. This will probably it'll put more emphasis on the dice, which is probably for the best. The dice are going to be a lot cleaner line than what we have for the rest of the illustration, which is more a little sketchier. But they are the closest thing to the screen, and they are going to have some extra detail in comparison to everything else, so it might be for the best. I'm not entirely sure, I'm just kind of speculating, but we'll get there when we get there. Right now, we're just trying to make sure everything is exactly where it needs to be. Thankfully, we didn't have to do too much. Ah! Almost forgot you. You. It's not perfect, but then again, what wooden table is perfect? Fill in all the lines to make sure filling in colors are not going to be too complicated or too awkward. Now we go back to blocking in our flats. Switch the pencil, push the pencil again to what I usually use. Select all the dice. Make sure they have the proper color. Ah, wrong. Put that on the wrong layer. There we go. Turn off the lock so we can fill in everything again properly. Fill this in properly. There we go. Also, we won't be needing this, so we're going ahead and cut that part of the color out. Boom. Ah, still a little bit left. We're going to fill this part in, take the roughs off. Fill this in, boom. There you are. Boom. Fill it in. A little more. Touch up a little bit there. Just trying to do this quickly because if I focus too much, I'm going to notice so many imperfections. I'm never going to get anything done. All right. These dice. This will do. Now for the tricky part, guys. I'm about to give myself more work than is necessary, but I think it's gonna look good. So what I'm gonna do is, on the very top, over everything, I'm gonna make a new layer, a new folder altogether, and I'm gonna start making a design for the size of these dice. I'm gonna make a template. Again, this is going to be based off of the dice that Morrow was rolling in his origin story. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Morrow is a tiefling / storyteller with his own YouTube channel called Tales to Morrow. All 3 words: Tales space to space Morrow. He reads tabletop RPG stories that post on places like Reddit, or he's only sent to him via email. Mostly horror stories, sometimes glory stories, sometimes just humorous. But he also is a dungeon master himself and has run his own stories, and of course he has his own character, which is this tiefling here. Yeah, his whole, much like many of us out there, many VTubers, he's got his own lore, and he had I think like a 2-minute video about what happened to him. Being the gambler he is, he got himself into a really bad deal, lost the gamble, and he now is a warlock serving under a succubus. Some think he's lucky. I find succubi creepy. They just y'all stay the hell away from me, all right? Just what they do to people kind of creep me out. But that's neither here nor there. What we're going to do now is we're going to get a symmetry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a symmetry ruler. Boom, drop it here in the middle of the screen. That's not exactly 100%. So I'm going to adjust the dimensions on this illustration are 22894 to 4093. So I'm gonna do 14 1447. That should do it. Is my math right on that? I think my So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start blocking it out. It's going to be just a straight up square. And with the symmetry on. Actually, I'm over here. Let me stop. I'm over here overthinking this, but let me take a look at the settings for this rule. See if I can do something with it. You know what? I'm gonna try. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I'm gonna try something anyway. I'm gonna put in a different. I'm gonna put in a new. I'll put in a. Put in a new one. See if this worked. That did not work. Ah, there we go. I think that'll work. But I need to check to make sure we're exactly where we need to be. No, not yet. Not yet. Not quite. 14. 47. Now let's see if we can make that happen. Yep, this will work. This will work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first I'm gonna start with some straight lines. Like so. A little too thick. And then we're gonna add some corners here. Some of this is gonna be a little sharper. But this will be a good start for it. Just gonna forge it. I can't stress enough, I got nothing but respect for the people who design these kinds of things on the regular. I don't know how you do it. This stuff will be so frustrating to do on the regular. Then again, I guess it gets easier the more you do it. Now I'm going to take what we got and we're going to rotate it like this. Just going to erase a good chunk of this. No. Better idea. There we go. Now I don't want to end up accidentally erasing anything. So we're just gonna delete this. We're just gonna erase from here. And we're gonna erase from here. That'll give us what we need. Drop everything back onto the original template. Boom. Alright. So that way we didn't lose anything. So gotta clean it up a little bit here, but it's not much. Just a little bit here. Next up is we want to something like this. Fill it in. Not sure if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try something here. Gonna try to make a almost perfect circle. It's not really. No, it is not working. A little too thin, a little too thick anyway. looking at the reference right here. It's a little strange. I think I kind of get it. Something like this. A little bit of this, make it a little sharper. There we go. Erase some of this. It's almost like looks almost like an animal's antlers. So that's going to be our template. And we're going to take that down into our colors, and we're just going to keep that there so we know where to put it. Remove the ruler. Ah, a little bit of an issue. We still got a little bit of extra here. We don't need that. So we're gonna erase some of this right here. Save before we forget. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start applying these. I'm just going to start making several of these, and I'm just going to attach them. To each side. Something like this. I'll let it overflow just a little bit. And I'm just gonna mirror them. Ooh, this is gonna take me a minute, but it's gonna work. There we go. That's good. That's good. which is basically going to do this for every visible side of these dice. It might look a little strange, but it's gonna be alright. That's almost perfect right there. Didn't have to do too much. Yeah. Hold up. Something right here. Might need to delete the mask. Let's try it again. No, that one didn't work. Okay, we're gonna have to redo that one. Let's not rush this. Got two sides we need to try to match up. Match here. It's not working. I'm gonna have to do a little tweaking here. I'm gonna have to do a little extra tweaking, but we're gonna get it. Something like that. There we go. It's a little messy, but I've never seen a single pair of dice that were perfect. So I'm not gonna rack my brain over this. It's better to get it done than to get it perfect. Afterwards, we're gonna have to add some numbers to these anyway. Oh, that ain't right. I honestly cannot see what that's supposed to look like, so we're just gonna... We're gonna have to lower the flats for a second and get a better look at our roughs. Turn off a bit. Where do I put the dice? Delete that one. Okay, not delete it, but turn that one off so I can see. Okay. Rotate a little bit. Something like this. This is side number 4. And then, there we go. Number 5. Rotate it. Rotate. Then bring it in. Now we can turn the color back on so I can actually see what the heck is going on. There we go. Alright, there we go. We still got a little bit of color leaking onto the table. We'll fix that once we finish the last side of the dice. This is going to be a little awkward, but something like... something like this. This one here. This corner here. Ew. That was a headache. Barely see anything, which is probably for the best because this looks a little off. Kind of want to keep this one without worrying about. We don't really want to go over. We want to be able to see this. That ought to do it. Not bad, not bad. Four, five, one over here, 4 and 5. Where's the other one? Okay, 1, 4, 5, 4, 6, 2. Now for the numbers. Find a nice font that'll actually look good on this. I think this is how I do it. 1. Turn off the italics. There we go. 1. 4, 5, 4, 6, 2. Take these, and I'm gonna take I haven't written this text, so I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna rasterize them so they can adjust them. Rasterize. Give yourself. I'm making things. I might be making things a little more complicated than they need to be, but that's just how I do things. That's a 6. Man, don't have to make another layer for that one because I always left that too. I'm gonna take all these, drag them into a different folder so I know where everything is. Boom. as well as I can. You won't be seeing it very easily anyway, but I'm still going to try to at least make sense of it. This might have been easier if I actually made this part of the actual template design. That's okay. We're gonna try to line it up with this right here. This will be so much easier. Number 5. Seriously, when it comes to working perspective, and I, for the life of me, cannot make this look right. If it requires a rule, I want no part of it, because I always know something weird's gonna happen. But I need to practice sooner or later. Something like that. Alright. Hard part's over. Every stream's got a hard part. Let's turn the background back on, turn off the roughs. Clean up the lines just a little bit. Fix the color just a touch. And we are good to go for the last experimental part, which is just fixing the colors. So what I'm going to do for the colors, I'm going to start figure out how I want the actual tone to be. So how, let's say, something like this when it comes to just the sheer darkness. Turn it down a little bit. Raise the saturation just a little bit. That'll do for now. If I have to adjust this later, I will. But that's just for the sake of the conversion. Now to determine exactly where I want the... What in the... Oh, right. Things are a little bit... I have to adjust the grays. Hold on. Take all this. Boom, there we go. Now let's try it again. Now we're gonna take the grays and we're gonna use this gray as our base to figure out exactly where we want all of our shade to go. Take the background into consideration and the extra lighting into consideration. This will help me help me to figure out exactly where I want the shade to be. And I just started to block it out. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to make sense because the lighting is another one that I'm not really used to. But whoa, hold on here. Who said you could? I swear, sometimes I accidentally hit something while drawing and talking at the same time. It's probably in my best interest to not overthink this, but overthinking that's just what I do. So I think hopefully a little talk while I draw is gonna try to will help take my mind off it all. If I just kind of let my brain go on autopilot, hopefully, I won't overthink this and I'll just do what needs to be done. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start just doing something like this. I'm going to start just using the line tool to kind of get a real basic feel. Something like this. And just block it in like this. Boom, 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 boom. Some of these will be a little strange because I'm trying to replicate the idea that some of the candle light is going to light him up from underneath him. So it'll be the ambient lighting as well as the extra lighting. I am admittedly winging this, but if it looks okay, it looks okay. That's the goal. Not to overthink it. Just kind of get an idea. If it needs to be adjusted, we will adjust it. Woo. Since I'm blocking it in, things might be a little messy. I'll just clean it up as we go. Reasons why I'm trying to be as quick as I can with this is because I'm also using the whole curve tool and the quick blocking in and all that. I'm also using this somewhat as a little bit of practice for another project that I'm working on. Say, I went to college to learn animation. And I learned both 2D and 3D. I major in 3D. But since most of my time is dedicated to illustrations, I've been kind of wanting to get back into 2D animation for a bit. I've kept putting it off, but I've been biting the bullet. And I'm gonna start relearning what they didn't properly teach. Relearning what I learned in school, and learning what I didn't properly learn in school. So one thing, I didn't really get a lot of hands-on practice when it comes to working with, digitally, like using their tablets and all that. So my 2D animation way back when was super, super basic. But with the practice I've been doing lately, I've been wanting to start making things again, and I'll figure what better way to give myself the incentive than to do a few alert animations here for this Twitch channel, and maybe a separate loading screen. One thing I would like to do is, just for the sake of when I have to take a break, or if I'm not here, if I'm away from the computer, I currently have a pause screen that lets you know that I'm on break. I'd like to do like maybe just a looping animation for something that isn't just a static screen. I think that'd be a good idea. Also would like to do a simple 3-second animation as an intro for my YouTube channel. For that one, the idea is to take the logo I have of my avatar just under the giant pile of rocks, and make an animation out of that, falling from the top of the screen onto just like a blank, just like on a black screen, and before he gets up, just the pile of rocks come down, just maybe a dust cloud, and that transitions into whatever I'm doing, which is usually like a speed paint video. I think that'd be good. Because currently the intro is me doing an incoming transmission, kind of like what I do here. But since it's YouTube and they're all pre-recorded, I think it'd make more sense to just have it be like an animation rather than making it seem like I'm interrupting a live broadcast, which is clearly not the case. And I'll save the incoming transmission for any live streams. I don't know if I'm ever going to start live streaming on YouTube as well, but it's something worth thinking about, I suppose. Oof, where the heck is that? There we go. Right now, I'm just on autopilot. Right now, just locking in everything real quick, and I'll be adding more detail once I kind of get satisfied with what I've got. Right now, I'm just, even though I say I'm on autopilot, I'm still like thinking about where everything needs to be, trying to see what makes sense before I block something in. Here's the hoping that what I'm doing makes some lick of sense. Alright, that extra light I think is messing with us. There we go. I'm gonna block some of this in by hand, because I know where I kind of want this. All these folds. Something like that. Yeah, some of this is gonna look a little messy at first, but we're going to whip out the watercolor brush as soon as we block everything in and make more sense of it all. Just blocking it in for now, not thinking too hard. Boom. Ah, wrong one. There you go. Lock it in. Well, there's so much that curve tool can do. what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take some of this off. Some of that can come off. A little bit of rim lighting, if you will. Just a little bit. Add a little bit of extra shading, just for the sake of contrast. A little bit of lighting. I do recall a little bit of, based on just the on the basis of the 3D models themselves. There's a little bit of shade here, and that's a good idea. So we're just gonna block that in real quick. Again, not gonna think too hard on this. We'll do that once we actually start finalizing the shading. Block this in real quick by hand because this won't take too long. I know exactly what I want to do with this. Maybe a little bit of extra shading regarding the eyebrows. And for the most part, the rough draft of the shading will be set. Let's turn off the grays. Turn on the converter. Set it to color. And woof. Doesn't look too bad, but yo, that is brighter than I thought. So let's change. Let's turn it down just a little bit. The conversion. Color-wise, that's not bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that take that converter. I'm going to make another one. And I'm going to turn the color down even more on that one. Now that we've got that set up, we're going to start adjusting everything when it comes to just the sheer weight of the shading. Some of this is going to get blended, some of this is probably going to get erased. Like right here. Even though this is definitely supposed to be more stylized and cartoonish, some of my shading might end up a little touch of realism. I don't necessarily have a style per se, but if it's one thing I tend to do, it's kind of mix the two. Even if it's a super stylized or comic style or Japanese style, I always have a little bit of realistic style of like shading. I'm not very good at cell shading. But I've been studying it, if only to help simplify the shading process when I'm actually blocking the stuff out. Blocking it out like this. The rest of it's not too headache inducing. Granted, I'm not entirely sure if this is going to work or not, but we shall see. A lot of this is trial and error for someone who is still not exactly what you would call an expert. I mean, I do commission work, but since I never have a distinct style, many of the commissions I have done have been in different styles. I think that might be a big reason why people commission me, because they know I can mix it up. That's one of the things that we learn in college. Since you never know what your client is going to want from you, be capable of making anything. So if there's anything that I would consider one of my strengths when it comes to illustrations, it's at least that. If I see a particular style you want me to replicate, give me some time and I will be able to replicate it, because I have learned how to break things down in different patterns, different pathways. But then again, almost everyone in college was able to do that, so at this point it should be expected. Then again, I don't know how many people in my graduation year was able to get something in their field. I ended up not getting anything in my field outside of doing some advertisements for a company. But that was a temp job and I wasn't even there a whole year. They just unceremoniously kicked us out. I was actually on my way to work on a Monday after fighting off a cold during the entire weekend. I felt like absolute garbage. I'm like, all right, but at least I'm well enough to at least try work. On the drive there, I get a call from the temp agency saying, looks like they ran out of work for you guys. Your services are no longer required. You can go home. So I'm actually on the way to work right now. You can go home. But rest assured, we will keep you informed and we will have another position available for you soon. That was the last I ever heard of those guys. They never touched up again. They never caught up with us. They never said anything. I even went to the temp agency's like main building, and I had no idea where to find anyone. There was an office, but there was nobody there. Not even a waitress. I mean, waitress. What? I mean, receptionist. So I don't know if that place. I don't know if that agency was like running out of money or something and had to shut down everything. What is going on? But I never heard anything from them again. You know what? I might want to go back to the converter and readjust this. I think I'll do that. Load the saturation, tweak the brightness, see how that works. Ugh. Yeah, new Jack. That didn't do jack. We're just gonna have to use a lighter tone on that. Erase it a little bit. Again, some of this is going to be a little bit of guesswork. But once I zoom out, after I'm done tweaking things here and there, I'm going to zoom out and see if this looks somewhat believable. I probably shouldn't even be working so close right now, but again, trial and error. Add a little texture to this barrel here. selection. Need a little something about that scarf on top, though. As soon as I finish this part. And even if once we get a good feel for the shading on this particular layer, we're gonna have to do it again. That's why I made a second converter. Let's blend this a little bit. This much. That'll do. Take a quick look at his references again to get a better feel of where this is supposed to go. I'm just gonna block out the actual shape itself. I just used the fill tool for the rest of it. This from watching David Liu and how he was blocking out his shading and his highlights and whatnot. The guy knows like retro style, like anime, at the back of his hand. And honestly, you want to understand how people, how to get that particular style, what better way than to study some of the greats, huh? If you don't know who all the classic artists of the time were, we got a few people, some rare freaking mavericks who are capable of replicating those styles in the modern era, which is awesome because we can. They teach us how to use, just watching how they do things, we can learn how to replicate those with modern day tools. There are a lot of old characters from older series I'd like to draw, but I'd rather not run the risk of not doing them justice, and so I'm studying how to draw in that particular style so I can properly replicate that. I got a few interesting ideas in my head that I think will look real good as soon as I have the confidence to try it. When is that confidence gonna rise is anyone's guess. I have no idea. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a backlog even bigger than it already is of things I'd like to draw. So many things I want to try drawing. So many things that I'm going to try drawing pretty soon. The problem is that sometimes a lack of confidence prevents you from doing it. If you're someone like me, at least. Because I keep thinking, let's not waste the internet's time showing you this thing that you're not even good at drawing just yet. But then you have to ask yourself, when are you actually good enough? Why not just try it now? And then do it again later. Which I occasionally do, I won't lie. Not too bad. Not too bad. But textures need to be made. So many textures need to be applied. Ooh-wee! Ooh-wee! So let's see if we got some textures we can use. This for our table. Oof, that ain't right. Yeah, there we go. As you notice, I've got a lot of different textures because I'm never sure when I'm gonna need them. These will go for the backgrounds. Old texture. Let's try this. See how this comes out. That low. Oof. That ain't gonna work. Here we go. Let's try this one. There we go. we'll add a little extra detail when it comes to shading once we cross that line. Now for the mug. Let's make something for the mug. Well, there we go. So, I'm gonna add some some texture for the mug, but first I want to make sure it's exactly what I want it to be. Hold up. Wrong layer. Let's try that again. Rotate a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. No. There we go. Let's change the color of those lines. We don't need them all black like that. Something like that. And you know what, the hell with it. We'll add a little extra detail. Something a little softer though. There we go. Add a little curve to it. Wait, where are you going? Wait. Adjust the color. Ooh, no. Too bright. There we go. Something like that. Ah, yeah. That will do. That will do. But do we want to also add a texture to, say, the horns? That might be a little much. I think we can provide texture to that by just color. So let's go back to shade. Okay. Also, speaking of color, I noticed something. Something's not right. We need to fix something. So I noticed a little something. I noticed a few missing layers that didn't need to be there. Anyway, back to the flats. I noticed this little thing right here. This little bit of gray right here I forgot to fix. I swear I got that earlier. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad with the converter. You know what? I'm not even going to run that risk. Let's take a look at the converter. We're just going to go ahead and fill it in real quick. Boom. There we go. We're gonna take all the shading we've done, and we are going to add that into a new shading layer. So that way, for the second shading, we won't be adding any extra shade where we didn't already have shade. So anything that's darker will only be where it originally shaded, like right here. However, there might be a little something here that needs to be eliminated, so I'm just gonna. There we go. Still need a little extra cleanup here and there. Add that little extra oomph. Extra layer of shade here. What we need is a little more oomph, as you say. Yes, punch. I don't think anyone knows what I'm referencing right now. bad. Right now, I'm just doing something similar to ambient occlusion. If I know something's getting almost no light, I'm just gonna go ahead and block that in. I might want to make that a little darker. I'm not entirely sure. What we got so far seems like it'll work. That feels a little weird though. Is that the right color? Yeah, looks like it. There's a little something that's been bugging me. There's a little bit of specks of dust here. There we go. Extra darkness right here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll add a little extra detail to the shading on the background. After a little bit of renaming here and there. Just a little bit. I'm also going to add just a little bit of shine. A little bit of shine. extra, a little bit extra effect for the background. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this, but sometimes I'll do this. Gonna add a color dodge, glow dodge. Add a bit of color. Oh, okay, yeah. That might work a little bit. Just a little extra punch. There you go. A little more fitting. But I'm also want to add one more thing. I feel like there's a little bit of like there's the light that's glowing out here is actually made from fire. So I'm gonna take the particle size, make them smaller. And a little bit of dust. Particle size, make them smaller. Just a little hint of it. And you know what? I'm gonna bring that out up to the front. It's in the background right now. I'm gonna bring it up to the front. Oh, well, what really that's left is to add a little bit of shine and some hard highlights. Where I'm not entirely sure if I can make this work, but I'm gonna try a little something when it comes to the details on his horns. Just a little bit. Don't need much. Gonna get a little painterly here and just add a little touches here and there. Be subtle and blend when you can. Rim here. Just a little touch, not too much. It's really easy to overpower everything. So I'm just gonna try to be as gentle as I need to be. That's not bad. Just like the horns, the leather parts don't need too much. Just enough to imply some type of detail. Because otherwise I am literally going to be working on this for who the hell knows how long. Ah, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I forgot to turn the details back on. I was like, we're having all that texture we're working on. I want to add just a little something extra to the skin. Just a little something extra. This won't take long. Touch here and there. Just defining some cheekbones here. Give him a bit of an extra manliness. In fact, I think just earlier today I saw that he had a picture of him with like a freaking Giga Chad chin. I don't know who edited that. Now for just a touch of, now we got the shine done. Time for a little highlight. Base this color off of tablet itself. Since I think there's some light shining off from mostly on the left side, the stage left. We're gonna go ahead and make that highlight come out from over here. Yeah. Oh, hello there again, Max. As long as you're on, don't ruin yourself. Hey, already yawning. Hey, I've been at it for about 2 hours. Don't worry about it. It's just me. It's just me and my usual sleep deprivation. Do not panic. In fact, we're actually almost done. Right now, I'm just adding the last of the shine and highlights. And again, don't do that. We're fine. How's your weekend been so far? How's the night going? It's going okay. Nothing too major. Nothing too special has happened, really. Though the night is still young for me, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do after I'm done for the night when it comes to the illustration. So how about you? How's your night been so far? Or day? Time zones. How you been so far? Almost done. 7. Well, I don't really know what I'm gonna do after this, so, and I'm not so tired that I need to sleep. So after this illustration, I don't know if I'm gonna jump into the next one, or maybe hop into some gaming. So there's no telling what I've really got no clue what I'm gonna do, but we shall see. You know something? We're gonna add a little bit of detail to that phone before I wrap this up. This could use a little. Yeah. I also, while you may have not noticed, but the dice that I made last night, I went and changed it up. The dice are completely a different shape now, which made it a little easier to make this pattern that I was working on. Also added some texture for several things, like the wood in the background, and and for the mug. In fact, I might want to add a little extra detail. I might want to add a little extra texture for this right here. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick while I still can. Used to make dice out of rock. Hey, I have I got respect for the people who know how to make those dice, because I don't know how, like, especially because some of these dice have some of the most just ridiculous of, like, designs. I don't know how people do it. Huh, that's not bad. That's not bad. We'll use that. Just a little bit more, a little bit of shine. That's just the art part, really. Flat grinder, and it's good with a Dremel. Now, before the post-processing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the color of these lines. Some of them are a little too black. I'm going to soften them up a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't want to go too far. this. Soften a little bit of the foam. Actually, the more I look at that foam, the more it's annoying me. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add just a little bit of extra detail to the foam. Make it just a touch see-through. Just a touch. Honestly, the only ones that are important. And don't mind me having a night, hand and neck. Hey, it's like just don't. Hey, if you, yeah, we all have our issues. I ain't judging. Honestly, the only ones that are important. Don't mind me having a night, hand and neck. If so, wait, do you have an injury? Are you having an injury? You say hand and neck. Did you hurt yourself recently or something? Not quite sure what you meant by that. Just the way you read. Just image wise. Take a little sip of my drink. Wake up. Alright, I think this will do. So what I'm going to do now is a little thing I learned from Lion Sensei. So I'm gonna turn off the background for now. And I'm gonna turn off these extra lightings, so it's just Morrow. Combine all this, make the reflective surface on the hand push this forward, but it's too much since the beer is in a light source. The neck has no depth. Hope that makes sense. Oh, the beer is itself trying to be a light source. It's not a light source. The thing is, I was trying to make sure that the beer itself was kind of blocking off some of it. Also, there was a light source off screen that was going. There's a light source that's off screen. A little bit of fire, if that makes any sense. The neck has no depth. See it though. As for the neck having no depth, no, I do not see that. But that's probably because I'm not very good. I didn't properly draw the sternocleidomastoid. But when I sleep on it, I might see it later and do some editing afterwards. If I do see it, there's a lot of things you may not notice the first time. After you finish it, then you sleep on, then you notice an issue. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to take what we've got so far and do a little post-processing. Copy the layer, blur it out. That didn't work. Something like that. Honestly, I don't mind criticism. I'm really bad given the why. I don't mind criticism in it at all. It's just that if I have no, it's just that if I'm not quite sure what you're saying, I'm gonna be a little confused. Both are just depth issues, really. Okay, we have... Right now, the issue is that this isn't blurring as I expected it to. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. What the... Okay, what in the world happened there? Oh, I think I see what I did wrong. I accidentally put this in a folder. Alright, there we go. Now I'm going to overlay this. Wait, don't overlay it just yet. Hold on. You'll figure it out later. We'll see about that. It takes time. I'm no professional. Even if I do have commission, even if I do in fact do commissions, just a freelancer. A little bit of color correction. No such thing as professional, though I say a line was spot on. Take that from a non-pro. Honestly, the line, I don't know about that. The line art's like the only one of the few things about illustration that I enjoy doing because I've done it for so long, it became borderline meditative. But there's still a lot to improve on pretty much every aspect of my art, though. Now for a little bit of one more layer of, where is it? Tongue. Right now I'm just trying to see if I want to adjust the color at all. This is a little bit of trial error on my part, so give me a second. This might look a little weird at first. I might not even use this, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna need that. But I will add just a little bit more contrast. I'm just gonna kind of emphasize the middle part of the picture. Hey, what was that doing on? Some things I do that make me happy seems nuts when I look at it later. I think that's honestly the case for a lot of us. Sometimes you do something, you're like, it's a good idea, but then you look at it later, it's like, actually, that looked silly. Right now, I'm just adding just a little, give it a little spotlight. Hope so. Otherwise, I'm just crazy. And honestly, we're all a little messed up. I wouldn't worry about it. I'll say, okay. So I'm gonna take, what do we got? I'll take this whole thing, make a full version of it, and we're gonna do a little chromatic aberration. So I'm gonna take this whole image, saved it, and I'm gonna make 3 copies. And I'm gonna change it so we got hold on a second. Boom. We got a red version, green version, and a blue version. Put them all together and you got a nice color here. And when I move one of those 3 layers, we got ourselves a little blur effect. Don't want to move it too much. Just enough to give that little blur effect. I can't really see it that well from that one, so I'm gonna try one of the layers. Let me see which one I want to use. A little too much. Gently. Gently. Yeah, too much. Gently. Gently. I think that'll do it. Gotta zoom in just a little bit to get that. You know what else? It's also hard explaining things when it's just a thing to do. I know, yeah. So sometimes there are things that don't really need an explanation, but you kind of want to, if only because you want to fill up what could have been an awkward silence with something. Okay. Now for the last thing to do, add a little bit of grain effect. Where is filters? Add that TV static looking bit. Tone it down just a little. We just want a little bit of texture, just a touch, not too much. Question. I'm listening. Anything you sleep easier at night too? That's the thing. I do a night shift, so I don't recall. I don't really sleep much at night in the first place. I really don't. Honestly, if I knew what would get me to sleep a little bit better, things would be a hell of a lot less irritating than it is right now, because I, honest to goodness, need something. Like white noise. Yeah, I haven't really figured out what would be good for me, but I will figure it out later, hopefully. One of these days I need to see like a sleep therapist or something because I cannot keep living off of like 3 to 4 hours of sleep, especially when especially during those times where I got 12 or 10 to 12 hour shifts at work. So, actually, here's one. I'm listening. Things considered, this isn't too bad, especially since I'm not entirely sure how to get more. Any songs you can listen to for a full night? Whew, that I don't know. But I'll tell you what, when I was first recovering from my eye surgery, I had my phone. I had on my phone there was since I had my phone on me, thankfully. There are 24/7 streams on YouTube that have just chill music. If I can find anything that's like chill, something lo-fi or maybe some atmospheric stuff, I would put that on. If only to take my mind off of the pain, you know. Overall, at first glance, I think I didn't do too bad for this illustration for something that for a character that I. Did you go lo-fi or you search through? I looked up some. I wrote on the search engine. I just went like I think I just said chill music, and you see like you find just a nice compilation of everything. Depending on what you're looking for, if it's sleep or just relaxation or something to drive to, there's so many different things you can use. Like if I'm driving, I'll listen to something like stuff from Ryan Celsius. He's got a good collection of stuff. His mixtape collections like Trappin' in Japan, perfect for drives. So if I gotta stay awake on the commute home from work, that's perfect. But you know what? Yeah, this is yeah. I think this is gonna be all right. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and post this later tonight. But if I do adjust this, I will also post that. But for now, I think this will do. I don't think, and for the record, I don't think what you're saying is really an odd question in and of itself. I mean, these are things that I think. I mean, I trust me. I got odd questions that I ask myself on the regular. So you gotta worry about it, man. The real question right now is, what in the world am I going to do? Hit you with one? Hit you like off the top of my head? Off the top of my head, go for it. Off the top of my head, like, do you think a tapeworm likes spicy food as much as we do? If you had a tapeworm, would it get accustomed to the? Do you think it would actually develop a taste for the same foods you do? And if we were removed it, would it respond favorably to the same foods you were eating? Or would it develop an absolute disgust for it? The only reason I even worry about that is because I used to eat like a bird. And and then once, I hit 8 or 9, I started to develop this desire to eat everything, and my grandma was worried I had a tapeworm. I still don't think I have one. I just, the desire to finally start eating finally hit me. And unfortunately, I think when it comes to they say you gotta eat to grow. I think it hit me too late because I'm still short. Yeah, I never got tall. I just developed muscle. You said if you had a tapeworm, it would love cheese. If I had a tapeworm, that might be the big reasons why. That might be the big reason why I didn't grow, because all those Flintstones vitamins just went to the tapeworm. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do after this, but I already did my illustration for this weekend. I might do another one tomorrow, or I might give myself a daggone break and maybe do some gaming. But I'm not sure what I would be playing. I haven't played any good fighting games in a minute, and I do still have the Capcom Fighting Collection that I want to break into because I haven't really touched Cyberbots. You know, the options are, the options are right there, man. I'll think about it. But I'm just kind of like, at this point, at this point, I'm just kind of killing time because I don't know what to say. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do after this illustration. But we'll see. I might even stream later tonight. I don't know. But only one way to find out. I'm gonna go ahead and think about it. But for now, I've already done the illustration, so whatever I do next is gonna be another topic for another time. So I know you just got here and right when I'm about to finish, but I thank you for that. So till next time, thanks for watching. Take it easy, memento mori, and I will catch you all in the next one. Kill the feed.